Ladies and gents, round 8 is in the books. We're getting the round results video out super quick so you can get through, learn what you need to for this week, make some fun trades before Team List Tuesday comes out, and we're heading into Magic Round and I can't wait for it. So my side, it was very up and down. There's a lot of lower scores in amongst some really nice ones as well. For the most part from guys that are fairly highly owned. So weren't many of my point of difference players this week that really stepped up and crushed it. We've got some 50% owned type of guys like Isaiah Yeo that didn't perform to their capacity. CY Wong did get a nice upgrade, but we had some down dates from Couchman down to 44. Watson's 33 was pretty rough. Playing Egan for 33 as well. But had some good scores, happy enough scores from guys like Sharp. Basic Aware's priced out, so that was fine. But Brimson's 44. I brought in Marzu with a 40, who underperformed, but did have that disallowed try, which hurt. Brought in Savala for his 57. Did have to choose between Nicholson and Mamazelis to take the Savala 57. Turns out in the end, if I just played Mam and Nicholson, I would have only missed out by 3 points anyway. So a 3-point improvement playing Savala. Unfortunately, couldn't loop guys like Watson or Egan or anything like that who have been really up and down. So overall for me, 1,019 with the rank improvement somehow in the end. I was sitting before the Sunday game, 6,200 or something like that. But with 6 players to play with the loop to come in and my captain at Terrell May. So a bunch of really, really good scorers in May, in Haas. Horsburgh was very happy with his 61 along with Nicholson and Tamale, 56 and 47. Those guys really performed for me on Sunday. Stafford Towers 38 along with Terrell's 104 was just massive, like captaincy-wise. For those that captain Cleary, they were the ones that missed out this week. Anyone who captain Haas, you were very happy with your 97, and I saw a lot of gloating. But our boy, the new GOAT, hadn't played yet, Terrell, and apparently he was angry at Benji for taking him off. He's like, "Why did you take me off? Did I do something wrong?" It's so good. So good. Would have played the full 89 minutes otherwise. And yeah, what an absolute freak. And to bring in Savala, I was happy with. It did sell Sandon Smith though. It was frustrating. My other sells of the week were Jenkins, and his 22 meant that, I made an improvement in wing fullback for that, which was good. And then played Sharp in wing fullback as well, moving Tamale up with Katonga being out, and Rob Toya I did loop down there, and he was 27 down to 24 in updates this morning, so frustrating there. And we've got a few bits and pieces to have a look at in my side, and Connor Watson's one of them. He just lost about 27,000. I went and had a look there. Let's get up on the side anyway. It'll make it easier for us. But now we're looking at guys to bring in and out. And Watson's 27 down, and yes, has the 67 in the rolling average, but he had that already and the lower one before, and still lost 27k. So that low one now, the 33, means he probably, unless it is a good game this week, and it probably will be. It seems like the Dolphins clashes are decent fantasy-wise, and he'll probably get some work through the middle like we saw with Nicholson and your Horsburgh, Tarpanay, Starling, all had good tackles through the middle against the Dolphins. So that's where you can look at that matchup for Watson and go, well, he could probably score well this week, but if he doesn't, it's another 40k down, and then we're probably selling him, and that's the worry. You could take him for his score, potentially good score this week, but he's been so up and down, and hope for the good score and hope for not much of a cash change, but he could also lose a bunch of cash as well. Isaiah Yeo with the 50, he loses 6k. It's a fine one over the next few weeks. He should be fine. Like, it's 50, not 30 odd. Terrell almost up at $1 million now, similar to Payne Haas. May's on the quicker trajectory there, but they both should be over the next 2 weeks. Couchman made some cash. Dylan Egan up to 521k is a really, really nice rise quickly. He's someone that we do have to think about, given he played 48 minutes on the weekend with Gula back. They didn't lose anyone on the weekend. Does Egan continue to play 48 minutes? And if he does, he could be a quick and easy guy to move on over the next few weeks, given the situation with Origin. They don't have anyone that should be out for that period in the forwards. Cleary up 20k. this week after the big 93 last week and got a 56, a little update there. He's someone that we will look at in round 11, similar to Isaiah Yeo. Hines down 6K and is pretty right for the picking, coming off 56 and 60 there. The lack of kick meters is the worry though. So as an owner, that's fine. Do you buy him? I'm not sure. Starford at 517K is in a pretty good slot and a pretty good timing to potentially move on as well. There's two lower ones now, even though the 38 was pretty good. He still looks great with ball in hand, but doesn't help us in round 12 and 15 and isn't a keeper. So that's where you can look at those types of guys as potentially good sells because they're unlikely to absolutely smash her in important rounds. Tamale, a very easy hold. Has a tougher matchup with the Storm this week, but should be fine. Brimson up another 18K, a good score of 44 with no attacking stats is massive for Brimson. Got the tackles, got the turnover tackles. That was great news. Marju, I think we've just got to wait for a big score over the next bunch of weeks. Similar to that with Sharp. If the Knights can play half decent footy, they should score well. Ayongi, we've got him in a team that is on the improve. They play the first game actually against the Sharks, so that'll be interesting to watch. I don't actually have any loopers this week, but does he sit in number 5 for me? Probably. Where do we play Katonga? Are we scared to play him? Other things I could potentially do, guys, is with players like Garrick on the bye, if Iro isn't named as well, he's an interesting guy to plug in coming back from his hammy. Not sure if he'll be back this week. He may do with Hiroti being out. But if he's out this week, he could be a really fun center option to plug in for the following week. So I could actually make a trade. Oh, actually, Euro won't work really because he plays first. So I'm more was thinking of guys like Garrick on the bye. If I loop Katonga in the center spot, I could plug Garrick in center if Katonga happened to score a 50 plus, something like that. But he could go low again. Yongi, same deal. He could go really big. He could go fairly low as well. So they're very, very scary plays, especially against someone like the Sharks who have options. And does Katonga actually play on the right? These are all the tough questions. Siwa Wong, low scores, under 50 the last 3 weeks, and he's priced at like 48, 47. So he's someone that's on the chopping block as well. Horsburgh and Nicholson in really good spots. Toya could be sold as well. Mademoiselle's hold all year, the GOAT. Actually, I'm a little bit worried about like Humphreys and these type of guys coming off the bench eventually. But for now, we're holding strong. And that's my team. It's a pretty interesting little slot. There are guys like Aaron Clark that are on people's lips, and he's at 633K now. Incredible how that one has ended up. And how quickly he's risen. But we could ride him into the sort of 700s. Hopefully get some good scores in him. And there's a chance that he becomes a keeper at hooker if he can keep the 50-odd minutes at 13. So that's where you look at that buy and you go, well, he helps in the buy period. He's got dual position. There's some good things about it. He could become a keeper. He may not, but he could, and has upside as well. So those things are interesting, but who do you trade him for? Who do you trade him in for? That all those types of things there, and we'll get to that over the next period of time. But team value is in a good spot now at 13.16 million, and I compare that to some of the top ranks, and JBFA, Nathan's chin, get him up, Luke, up to Luke. Love that, killing it. He's at 13.24, so I'm only 80k behind him. I'm ahead of Ollie and Thames in second and third for team value. We've got some really good squad values in fourth and fifth in Sam and Cooper, absolutely flying at 13.47, 13.688. With 13.2, 13.1s, all's very similar to me there. And then 13.2s, 3s and the like. They're 13.5 down there. So some good stuff in there. And shout out to Jakey V, part of the private group, in at 18th spot. And Andrew in at 21st. Flying, absolutely killing it. Andrew's managed to stick up there after being 13th a couple of weeks ago. And then Jakey Boy's been in and out of that top 50. And has pushed right up to 18th with a great score. So let's look at where we are comparatively. And in at 1200th, we aren't that far behind. So Lukey ended up with 1,068 and pushed a little bit further ahead, but is now 330 points ahead of myself, which isn't that far back, to be honest with you. And definitely in with a shot myself still of being able to win this whole thing. But let's compare us to 50th. So 7,420 up against 50th in 7,619. So we're under 200 points behind the top 50. It's really, really close. up there in those top ranks. And Nige still hasn't joined the private crew group. He joined a little bit late, so he's decided to stay out of it. He's in 32nd, and I think we got the private group meet up on the weekend, and he was having a laugh about, he goes, look, Captain Cleary, if I didn't Captain Cleary, I'd be 6. But look, all I'm caring about is the which sauce I'm going to pick on my wings this week when we meet up for our lunch on Saturday. So there you go. That's a good perspective and a good way to look at it. But that's the top rankings and a very interesting position. And we will next week. I'll jump in and have a look at the top 1,000, see where they're at with trades and all that kind of stuff. After we've had a few weeks of 3, of the triple trades there. That's going to be really fun to have a look at there. Let's look in at our leagues there. So the private group, as I said there, we had Jake and Andrew up top. We've got Thomas in at 3rd. I think we've got 4 in the top 100 now after a bit of a tougher week for some. 5 in the top 100 there with Sally in at 93rd and 101st for Sam. Some really good performances up top there. As you can see, some, thousands, 1,053, 1,059 for Jake. All in a really nice spot to continue pushing up at, to try and win this thing. And just a little scroll for everyone in there. I think I'm sitting in the 60s myself for the private crew. 65th, coming 1,203 or whatever it is. So very, very impressive what everyone's being able to do right now. Got a win in the Gargarov Cup. Happy with that. Scoop got me by 8 in the end. I thought it was going to be a lot more, so I'm glad I could claw that one back. The Battle of the Podcast there in at 6. I managed to sneak tied with Daniel, Mr. Longy. So 1,206 for him, 1,205 for myself at the same point scoring. Up top, Jordan's having a cracking season, so shout out to him in 67th. Another really good score this week with Drinky in that 75 with Haas as captain. Also got, Fogarty with the 73 down there. And managed to loop Savala in. He's got T. Wilton and Fafita. Oh, wow. Didn't play Fafita off the bench. That is some wild, wild play. So, congrats to that, but not congrats on the playing off the bench. Nick in 2nd, Josh in 3rd, Austin in 4th with a nice 1,025, so a small improvement above me again. But from 3rd to 7th, are separated by 13 points. So, we're all in a good spot. It's just at the moment we've got a big chase down on Jordan and Nick a little bit ahead there at 312th overall. So shout out to all those guys. Scoops down there. Mitch had an improved week. You'll see his video tomorrow. 1,048 for him was good, and Nicky just a tick under 1,000. So not his best year, but he'll definitely come back. And for those that are commenting on his video saying you enjoy it, then I'm very glad to see that. And Scoop there with a good improved week for him to slot himself back inside the top 3,000. And Will from the Fanatics in our private crew with 1,017 doing a good job at 2,100 there in that one. Yes, that's the majority of my result stuff to think about. You got my general strategy. We've got the private crew. We've got the rankings. We've got the podcast stuff. And full-time is your fantasy. If you got to full-time sports bar and eatery, I will be heading over there in late June, which is exciting. And just a shout out to a few of the guys from New Zealand in this comp and in line for the spoils at the end with Luke, James, Dylan, and Andrew there. Andrew from the private crew, all in the running up top so far. There's plenty of good guys in that top 50 rankings, which is awesome. Lovely to see. And congrats to how all you guys are going. And make sure you do go and check out the bar and eatery if you are in Auckland. It seems like a hectic place to go and hang out, and I'll be there on that weekend in late June. All right, let's move to Supercoach. It's been a bit of a tough week. My goodness. Couldn't have gone much worse there. 12.31 for me, and I just cannot get captaincy right at all. And the problem that I'm having here compared to fantasy in the last bunch of weeks anyway, is just captaincy selection and keeping on the same guy. If I had just kept, I got things right early on. The first 3 weeks, I got 100 plus score as my captain. And following that, it's just been a mess. And I captained Payne Haas. Well, I VC'd him for his 140 or whatever it was. And then captained him the next week. He got like 50, and I was frustrated with that. Gutho got 130. Captained Gutho the next week against some easy team, and he got 50. And then it really should have stayed. Payne Haas had the shocker. It should have stayed on him. He's averaging 96, and even if I just did that, I'd be in such a better position. I'd probably, I pushed my way out to 9,800 after being 6,000, and I think I'd be somewhere about 5,000 just with the, sticking Payne Haas as captain, or Terrell May as captain there. We had Turbo in there with the shocker, and I should have captained May. So that's been the main issue from my side, to be honest, and having Ponga in there, having Gutho over the last few weeks, just missing out on those really, really strong scores has been really tough. And I bought Karaz this week for 53. To have Gutho, Ponga, Pappenhausen all go under 70 as my 3-gun fullbacks, it's just really tough. Katoa 73 there, Tino 69, Purdue 64, had Cleary as captain this week, so rough on that front. We had Garrick's really good score, thankfully. Brought in Hines this week for his 78. Didn't play Sandon Smith. Like, there's some people getting lucky with having him as the main hooker. And then didn't play Tamale Nicholson or Adam Dewey there in that game against the Dolphins. I thought that they would win, and it was looking that way before a nice comeback from the Raiders there. And then Dewey played really well in that clash up against the Sharkies there. So, overall just getting too many low scores, not getting captaincy right. Having Payne Haas is good, but him, Garrick, the only real good scorers this week, with Hines, May owned by everyone. The top 3, and then Hines being my trading this week, getting a nice 78, which was good, but almost could have been another try assist and a goal at the end, which would have taken him above that 100 mark, and he actually lost three points there in missed field goals. So the team's looking really good in terms of not scoring, but we're at 15.1 million team value. I played Billy Smith, who actually got taken out of my side for the 35 over Tamale there. And that was frustrating to see him score really well, to trade him in, and for them just to score that many points, and both him, Toya, not get involved in any of it was frustrating on that one, and just Teddy scoring like crazy at the end, Drinkwater in that second half as well, just going nuts. Just those kind of guys where you don't own, that they come out and destroy it at the end. It becomes very frustrating when you captain low on the other side. So that's my side. Enough complaining there. We'll bounce back, but I think my thoughts of potentially going on and having a really, really good finish in like the top 100, top 200 probably falls away, and top 1,000 is where we're at, where we're thinking right now, just to get an improvement on the last few years, which I think we should. But having to use a lot of trades in recent history which is pushing us in the wrong direction there, and we're sitting there with the rank change of 19 spots in the Podmasters, so still in the top half, but hoping for a lot better over the next few weeks, and so many teams getting 1,400 plus, and Chris here with 1,514 was crazy. We had Tim there with 1,491, Drinkwater, Sandon Smith, Hamole, Haas, like so many good scorers there. So congrats to all these guys in the top rankings, all in the top 1,000 there, the 8 that are in that spot. And it shows that outside of these guys, it hasn't been easy. There's a bunch of players in 23, 2,000, 3,000 up to 5,000 and the like, but it's hasn't been an easy year for Supercoach we can see all the podcasters, the guys that know what they're doing, not going perfectly well, apart from a few up there in the top 1,000. So congrats to those guys there. And I need to bounce back. For the private crew, Maddie and Jared up top with Scoop in third there. So 1,800 for Scoop. We've got Maddie with the Lunatics into 424 and Jared back into the top 1,500. So hope those guys continue to do well. And I won my JBFA private. I lost my All-Stars one by a long way, which was tough. I think I was second into 7th there in that one. And the other couple of private head-to-heads, I won one, lost the other. So sitting okay. In the one I lost there, I'm sitting first anyway still. So that's fine. We've got plenty to work on and look at in this side. Maybe this week, I think Raiders have the Storm. So Stan and Smith, we might end up moving into that starting hooker spot. Our front row forward is flying. Second row forward, okay this week. Like Preston scored a try for 62. Hopefully it's a better game for those guys against the, I think it's the Knights this week. No, Titans. Yeah, against the Titans there. Hopefully a better game for Preston and Kiraz. We've got Katoa. We've got Horsburgh doing some good work. Egan and Kant now are going to be the harder ones to have a look at in the 400s, higher break evens. I think you can hold this week very easily, but also can be sold as well. Hines Cleary combo, fine. Munster Dewey, fine. Centre wing, it's okay. Toya's probably the one that needs to go. Billy Smith, a low one, but hopefully can have a better week. And then do I bite the bullet and go like Gutho to Drinky? Could be the potential play this week. Ponga has an easier run the next three. We're just going to ride with it. We have to, at this point, like selling at that price, for him to probably have more chance at that price to go bigger than some of the other guys he might buy. I just think at this point we've got to roll with it and don't want others to benefit from us selling him at a very low price when they start buying him, or we know that he has the quality. Can he go out and do it? And that's where we're at this week. Pappy with the old sin bin didn't help either. So that's the squad this week. Let's push forward, have a better Magic round and get 1,500 or something in Magic round would be great. So thanks so much for tuning in for the round results video and podcast, guys. I hope you're having fun and it went well this week. 1,000 plus and 1,400 plus in Supercoach would be great. See you in the next one, guys. Have a cracking week.